Today we are going to be talking about the text structure, problem and solution a little bit more in depth. So I want you to grab a piece of paper and I want you to label at the top problem and solution. I'll make me a little bit bigger. So the definition of problem, so we're going to take our problem, underline it, and put a little down arrow. We're also going to do that with solution because we're going to talk about the definition of those two words. Because Miss J's is crazy, she's going to get another color. You can keep the same color. So, a problem is a challenge or obstacle. Grab a new pen because Miss Jace is crazy. A solution is going to be how the problem is fixed or solved. So when we talk about problem and solution, it is kind of in the title. Now, if we look at what we did in our notebook, there are other ways to give us clues. If we have a problem that is solved or needs solving, sometimes this will have keywords like solution, issue, obstacle, solution. That one's kind of easy. But fixed. Those are some keywords to look out for. So you can either do the easier way, or if you're feeling creative, the hard way. I will do both and show you. Maybe you can do both. So the easy way is you are going to do what is basically a flow chart. You do a red box. I'll make myself bigger again. Now from that red box, draw 2 arrows down. Now when we talk about solutions, there are more than one solution. But in this case, we're only going to talk about 2. And from those 2 little arrows, I'm going to make some circles. These being the solutions and the top being the problem. Another way I like to think about it is like puzzle pieces. So you have the problem and you have issues or gaps that need to be filled. Pardon me while I draw a puzzle piece. There's my problem. We have gaps, so it's not a full piece. Our solutions should fit perfectly in those gaps. They should solve the issue. So either way, when you think of it, you have a problem, in my case, the red things, and two ways to fix it in this case. I like the puzzle piece analogy because if you look, there are notches for more solutions. There are more solutions available. These solutions also have notches because you can have details that add to them and to make them even better. I kind of also like it like this because even some solutions have issues that you need to look at, so they'll have some gaps missing. So, we are going to learn about Eastern religions a little bit more because yesterday, or Wednesday I should say, we have learned about Western religions, being Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Today, we are going to take a look at Hinduism and Buddhism. So, I'm going to minimize me, and I'm going to ask you guys to open up your social studies notebook. So I will get rid of my face for right now. Okay. So talking about Hinduism, we're going to zoom in and read on our slide. We are on slide 19. Hinduism. Two major religions originated in India, Hinduism and Buddhism. Hinduism originated around 1500 BCE, which stands for before current era, from the blending of Aryan beliefs with the cultures of the original settlers of India. According to Hindu beliefs, there is one prevailing spiritual power that lives in everything. Hindus also believe in many gods and goddesses, including Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. I found a really good explanation for this when I was researching, and it is the belief that if you handed one person a rose, one person a daisy, and one person a thistle, you could say, "What did I give you?" Some might say rose, some might just say flowers, because a rose, a daisy, and a thistle are all flowers. Now, if you look at those three flowers, they are extremely different. They're different colors, they're different shapes, they're different textures, but they are all still flowers. In Hindu belief system, there is one spiritual god that makes up, or one spiritual power, but there are many iterations or types or forms of that god, being Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and others. And I thought that was a decently good representation. Here is a quick doodle of the three major. Hindu beliefs are found in the Upanishads a collection of sacred texts that describe the Hindu philosophy. Beliefs include reincarnation, the belief that after death the soul returns to earth in another body or form, in which karma determines how the soul is reborn. Good behavior may lead to rebirth in a higher caste, while bad behavior is punished. If you lead a perfect life, you will be freed from the cycle of death. Oh, I should say, karma is the belief or intention that brings about a result according to that behavior, either in a person's current life or the next. So based on what you do, it's either going to come back to you in this life or when you are reincarnated. If you lead a perfect life, you will be freed from the cycle of death and rebirth and become one with the Brahman, the spiritual center of the universe. Believers must obey their dharma, a divine law of religious and moral duties unique to each individual. Other ways of uniting with Brahman were through yoga, which was widely popular today as a workout, but according to Hindu beliefs, it is a form of exercise that frees the soul. Now, quick things, to not confused. A Brahmin is a top of a caste system that we will talk about when we talk about the Indus Valley River civilization. The Brahma is the top deity. A Brahman is a spiritual top of the universe. So we'll zoom out a little bit. I should say, Hindus are more than likely going to be vegetarians because of the belief they have that you can be reincarnated into an animal. So the fact that you could be eating what it was at one point a human makes sense for them to not want to eat meat. The symbol for Hinduism is called the Om. There is an unknown creator. We do not in history know the creator or founder of Hinduism. And it makes up a decent-sized population, specifically in India. So it is orange, and it makes up, I'll zoom in, I can't tell if that's a 13 or a 17. 13% of the population are Hindu. Let us watch our Oprah video, which I have already uploaded. Not uploaded, but opened.
Hinduism is the ancient religion of India. It's the third largest religion in the world with over 1 billion followers. And the majority of Hindus do live in India, which is the only Hindu majority country in the world. For many people, it's very difficult to understand what Hinduism is because in so many ways, it is more like a disorganized religion than an organized religion. Hinduism has no founder. It has no common language, no common deity, no common scripture, no common ritual. All of the things that we think about when we think about bounded, organized religion. Most Hindus would believe that we all have a soul, and that soul is a reflection of God. So that individual soul that we all possess means that our natures are inherently divine, that we can know God by going inside of ourselves. For Hindus, the soul is reincarnated over many lifetimes, and the goal of Hindu life is to achieve liberation from the cycle of rebirth, liberation from the cycle of suffering. For Hindus, it's not just that humans have a soul, but all sentient beings have a soul, including animals. So in India, one will see the multiplicity of depictions of the divine. You will see the divine represented in animal form, for example. One way to think about this notion of our souls being inherently divine is through the Hindu greeting of Namaste, which is a traditional greeting in India. And it literally means the divinity within me acknowledges and salutes the divinity within you. So in this simple greeting, we see a core Hindu theological belief that's articulated. In the most ancient Hindu text, the Rig Veda, there is a verse that says, God is one, but the wise call God by many names. Or truth is one, but the wise call truth by many names. So built right into the heart of the tradition is this notion of pluralism. There is no way to convert to Hinduism. It's different strokes for different folks. When I was growing up as a Hindu, my parents would tell me there are many paths up the mountain, but they're all leading to the same place. And so at its core, Hinduism has a great deal of respect for the other world religious traditions and recognizes them as equally legitimate paths to understanding ourselves and understanding God.
Thank you, Oprah Channel. So, we'll then move on to Buddhism. Buddhism appears as a rival religion in the 16th century BCE. Siddhartha Gautama, a young Hindu prince living in the lap of luxury, left his palace and saw the devastation of the real world. In the foothills of the Himalayas, he found sickness and poverty, just lack of substantial everyday life needs, sorrow, greed, love, and death. Siddhartha decided to abandon his riches to seek the meaning of life and the cure for human suffering. He is the founder of Buddhism, and became known as the Buddha, or Enlightened One. Siddhartha took up the Hindu practice of meditation, which is a thinking deeply or focusing one's mind in silence or with chanting. Focusing his mind to reach a higher level of awareness. Buddhists believe that he achieved enlightenment and came to understand the meaning of life. Siddhartha spent the rest of his life spreading his Four Noble Truths, which teach that feelings of suffering in our lives will end when we stop trying to satisfy selfish goals, overcome with desire for material objects, and begin to see others as extensions of ourselves. Siddhartha broke this idea down for his followers in his Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path teaches that we must overcome selfish desires for power and wealth and learn to be wise so that we may reach nirvana, everlasting peace where the self ends and reunites with the great world soul. That's where nirvana is. After Siddhartha's death, which was somewhere between 410 and 360 BCE, his followers continued to spread his message, building monasteries to promote his teaching. So, we have the Eightfold Path in this wheel. If you notice, there are 8 spokes to this wheel, leading to the center, which was nirvana, which was enlightenment. So, Siddhartha Gautama, who eventually became Buddha, he was saying there is so much suffering in this world, and it is human greed and the fact that we do not see ourselves as equals. We try to serve ourselves over everyone. So the 8 steps laid out in the Eightfold Path follow the Four Noble Truths, which are the main belief system that guides Buddhists. Now, like I said, the founder is Siddhartha, who eventually became Buddha. And they make up 7% of the population. So they are gray. The Eightfold Path leads up to the Four Noble Truths, and I'm going to circle back to that because we have Hinduism, which, while there is no set religious text because it is your personal beliefs. There is the I'm going to mispronounce it, the Upanishads, but the Four Noble Truths are what guide Buddhists, and they believe that there is suffering in the world is the first one. That is the four truths. Suffering will end when you stop trying to satisfy your selfish goals, when you put aside your selfishness and be there as a collective person and work out for the whole group. When you overcome your desire for things. So you'll see a lot of Buddhists will have very minimal belongings because that will follow that material wealth. They do not need physical objects to feel whole. And then you need to start seeing people as extensions of you, as in they are equal to you. They are on the same level as you. So, the reason I went a little bit more in depth into the Four Noble Truths is because that is going to work with our problem and solution. So I would like you to go to Google Classroom, go to Classwork, go into the 5 themes of geography, and it says Eastern religion, Buddhism, work. Go ahead and click on that. So, for this assignment, we're going to specifically look at Buddhism because the way Buddhism started is Siddhartha Gautama saw a problem. So, the problem he saw, based on your readings, put it here. What problem did he see in the world? He went out and he looked and he saw a problem. Type that in that green box that says type here. Now, whether or not you believe in Buddhism, he did have a solution to stop that problem. He had many. I would like you to list what he thought the solutions would be for his problem. When you are done with those solutions and those problems, go ahead and submit this. And you can go ahead and either work on your Among Us tasks. You can work on your The House That Lou Built. You can work on any missing work you have. And if all of that is done, you may independently read. Hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you.